Good morning. Welcome to another Kerfuffle webinar. Mr. Watkins needs no introduction, but I will give him an introduction. Here is Chris Watkins, Property Wolverine, Legends, all manner of different things. How are you, Chris?
I'm very well, thank you, Simon. Thank you for asking, and I hope everyone watching this, all two of them, are also well as well.
Two, we haven't got two yet. Don't overplay it yet. Don't, oh, one's in. I told you this is for my own Kerfuffle TV. It's a Netflixy kind audience. They log in, they log out, they say no, I don't want any more of that.
Okay, so I must admit, I think at the last count, my YouTube channel says I was up to 1,347 videos. I know you're trying to beat me, but there is a balance between quantity and quality, Simon.
There absolutely is. But there was also there's almost a billion Chinese people chasing Chairman Mao, and that wasn't particularly the most positive of all experiences. So numbers are not always the right guide, are they?
They're not, and that's why, as I said, quantity is better than quality.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
Hence why we're finishing the week on quantity, because the quality between us two is pretty poor. Anyway, you crack on, mate. There you go. Is only jumping into interview mode then.
Look at it. Very good. Anyway, well, look, I see you didn't bother to have a lockdown haircut, but I obviously did. But that's not what we're here now. There's plenty of time to get you and Charlie Perdios back at a different stage. Today, Chris, is just about saying well done to you for being nominated not just nominated, shortlisted for the top 40 suppliers and ideas and innovations at EA Masters, and for being, as I understand it, in the top 10 in leadership. And what other stream could you have been in other than leadership, my friend?
Well, I was hoping for marketing, but such is life.
There were some really good companies in there, so we couldn't get you in that.
Just to appear in your list, Simon, is reward itself. Thank you.
That's okay. You're going to put me down on a LinkedIn profile then? That's one of your achievements in life, is it, to be on the list?
Well, but by all accounts, everyone who's made the top 40 is going to be putting on their epitaph and their gravestone. Father, son, mother, whatever, and in the top 40. I mean, talk about legacy.
So, Chris, one of the you what?
No, go on.
I was going to say, one of the things, obviously everybody knows you from obviously the thought leadership you put out in terms of obviously with your interviews, in terms of what you do on Facebook. But one of the elements as well we were trying to draw attention to is that you actually do this for agents as well, to give them content creation for educating the audience. Do you want to just give a brief overview of that service that you can provide for agents?
Yeah, interestingly, most people actually think that my daytime job is interviewing people, and I earn money from my YouTube channel. That earns me about 70, 80 quid a month, and I give all that to charity. No, I only do those interviews because it's fun. My daytime job, how I earn money is, if you believe that your local homeowners and local landlords are interested in what's happening to their property in the local property market, then surely if you want people to be attracted to you, why don't you talk about the local property market to local people? And I mean, Savills came up with the idea 30 years ago, and now look where they are. So really all I do for agents is either teach people how to write articles themselves, and I do that for free, because you can download. If you email me and you just say, can I have the 20 free templates, I'll send you 20 free stories, and you just drop the numbers in. Or if you're too busy, I actually write the articles for the agents concerned. So, and the articles themselves are, I only work for one agent in one town, and they're very okay. So, who are my competitors, or who can you compare me against? Okay, so Data Loft is is a competitor of mine, and they are truly exceptional at what they do. Theirs are very visual, very bite-sized, very infographic-y, those sort of things, using property data. Myself, I would write a weekly article in a Sunday Times or Telegraph style and length. So I believe you're in Didsbury, aren't you, Simon?
If I'm selling my home, yes, I am. But actually, I'm in Withington, but Didsbury border.
Okay. So what would happen is that if I wanted to attract you as a Didsbury homeowner to my agency, because there's over 30 estate agents in Didsbury, I could either talk about myself and my firm and how brilliant I am, which I know would be very easy for you, Simon. And I think most estate agents are very good at talking about themselves. But just like the person who talks about themselves at the party all night, we often get bored. If you want people to be attracted to you, if you're attractive, and what people will be interested in you. So how do you become attractive? You become interesting, and the best thing you can do is talk about stuff that your audience is interested in. And every homeowner in Didsbury is interested in the Didsbury property market. So if you deliver Didsbury, what's happening to Didsbury compared to, say, Hale or Altrincham, which are towns nearby you, then you as a homeowner will be interested in that, because I couldn't give a monkeys about Didsbury, but you do because you live in Didsbury. And by giving them great content about their local property market, you will attract people to you by definition. So that's what I do. I provide, along with my wonderful team, my wife and the writers that work alongside us, gutsy, big, meaty articles written in a Times or Telegraph style with infographics, with graphics and videos to go with it to drive people to your agency so they use you. That's what I do.
Perfect. I mean, you coined the phrase, as far as I'm aware, the digital mayor, which is, very much owning that locality and being hyper local and relevant. And that's why you only deal with one agent in each one. You want to keep that differential, isn't it, in terms of making sure that you can't have 3 or 4 agents by definition sending out the same content, or at least it completely waters it down, especially when it's thought leadership like that, can you?
Because I mean, the term itself actually came from Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V, and he stood up at a estate agents conference about 4 or 5 years ago, and I listened to the speech about 3 years ago. And the digital mayor is not only talking about the local property market, but actually taking it a little bit further on from that. Digital meaning online, mayor meaning local important person. Now, there's an estate agent in Lincolnshire who works in a town of 17,500 estate agents. Now, Simon, you are a very clever man, so you can start working some sums out. So you might want to write these numbers down. The population, 17,500 people, and every single week they chuck out a 25-minute video on their town, the town's property market, but they also interview local people about why they love the town and why they've lived there forever. And it literally is almost the one show in a estate agent's office. Okay. And what they do is they the one show is hi, they do a bit of fluff, and then you go to a pre-recorded video, then back to the studio for a couple of minutes, then another pre-recorded video, and they put that together in a 25-minute show. Now, after 2 years, and I must remember, after 6 months, they didn't spend any money on advertising. So the first 6 months, they boosted it on Facebook. But for the last 18 months, they didn't spend a penny. All they did is created this video and put it out. Yeah. And after 2 years, on a bad week, 2,500 views with an average view time of 18 minutes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me where you can get 50% of the population watching on average 18 minutes of a 25-minute video. It's just unheard of.
It's incredible, and not everything that marketeers tell you about these days is that you need to keep your videos down to 1 or 2 minutes, keep the attention. But where that completely gets broken down is, yes, that's when you're trying to market something to them. But when you're interested, when you're a fan of something, those rules go out the window, don't they? Because by definition, it's a personal interest. And when we're personally interested in stuff like cars or football or whatever else, we can dedicate half our lives to actually looking at that content. I can tell by the way you've paused there that you agree with me. Either that or you have actually paused. I really hope you're not just winding me up now and staying in that pose. That's a perfect time for thanks, Rob. Thanks for saving me here. Had 14 buy-to-let properties just off one article being pushed out through paid advertising, where that client, being more articles and then came to us to invest, basically gave us a pot of money to invest as we were seen as the experts. That's fantastic, Rob. I would hope that was from Mr. Watkins' service. Otherwise, that's not particularly relevant. Well, he's either had another better offer. Oh no, here he is. He's back. Here we are. I thought for a minute you were just doing that to wind me up.
Yeah.
You missed the perfect time though. Rob just jumped on here. I take it Rob's one of your clients, is he? Is he, Chris?
Yeah.
Well, that couldn't have been.
Love Rob to bits.
Couldn't have been a better segue for you jumping up. As he said here, had 14 buy-to-let properties just off one article. Give us an idea of price point for this. Is it variable? Is it a set fee? How does it work? And what's the frequency of the service you provide in terms of the content?
Weekly article, £75 plus VAT. Everyone pays the same.
Sorry, weekly, £75 a week.
Yep.
Okay.
You know those video, and for that you get a branded video for each article. You get 10 or 15. Oh, there's the dog going crappy. You get 10 or 15 bespoke images, and you also get me as your marketing guru.
Oh, there's an added little extra, isn't it? Zoe's just jumped in, not willing to be undone here. Hi, Zoe. I managed to get on 3 counties regularly as their property expert. It's a slow burner. Be patient. Okay, so we're hearing it from all of the fans there. I mean, I personally love the stuff you do. So it's I'm unashamedly biased in terms of that. What are some of the weirder, more exotic ways that your clients use this content, Chris? Clearly putting them up on blogs and things like that. Do any of them use them in a more prospecting sense?
Okay, so you obviously put them out on social media. So and the art there is not only just to put it onto your own Facebook feed, but here's a huge tip for everyone watching this: is if you're in Didsbury, you as a person, not as a firm, but you as a person should be joining the Didsbury Facebook groups. And people say, well, they won't allow me to put posts in the Didsbury group. Of course they won't if you're trying to sell your services. No one likes to be sold to. But if you give them content like this, or do videos like your top 30 poshest streets in Didsbury, honestly, I mean, Michelle Gallagher did that in Lancaster, and organically she was getting 4,000 or 5,000 views at a video. I mean, come on, that's engagement. Other ways that you can do it, bring every single person out of your archive and create a mailing list on those, and then email them the article. And again, if you had an estate agent, it's called Simon Well Estate Agents, don't put the subject line as Simon Well Estate Agents, because we're all guilty of getting 50 emails and deleting most of them before we open them.
Yeah.
Put a huge tip for everyone watching this is, if you want more people to open up your emails, put the 3 magic words at the start of every email in the subject line, and that is, in your case, Didsbury, or whatever your town is, property market.
Yeah.
Okay. Get out of Kevin Parsons. He now has a radio show every single month where he basically talks about the articles. Zoe's already been on. She gets regularly asked to go into 3 counties radio, BBC radio, and Spencer Fortag from Docklands and Medway. He the Telegraph now ring him up once a month, once every couple of months, and they published an article about 3 or 4 days ago, and Spencer Fortag, UK buy-to-let guru, is basically mentioned 8 times throughout this Telegraph article. And the only reason he got that is that someone locally read his articles about the Medway property market, picked the phone up to him, he gave it a talk, and now he's the go-to person for buy-to-let from the Telegraph.
Wow.
You can't buy that.
Well, as Zoe says, there's much more, though. This legend gives so much more than that. When you were talking about the locality and getting in on the groups, how important do you think it is is that phase one, or should the ultimate goal be to create those groups yourself in the way that our friend Mr. Mintz does, or Oliver does, own a postcode M25 or whatever else it is, and build that up yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I would be recommending that everyone starts their own Facebook page. Luke St. Clair's got Love Opie, where he actually goes and interviews people in the town and then puts the stuff in. The artist is every relationship in this world, whether it's business or personal, works on the basis that A, they've got to know you, then they've got to like you, and then they will trust you. That's how all human relationships work. Now, a lot of people say, well, if I set up my own group, and again, not an estate agents group, because no one wants to be going to an estate agents group, but set up a group about your locality. But again, the thing is, you need to get them to know, like, and trust you. So what you do is you get them to know, like, and trust you in their group first. So let's just say buying and selling stuff in Didsbury, or posh yummy mummies that send their kids to a school. Post stuff in that. Like, the two things is post relevant and interesting stuff to the viewer in their group, and also, big tip, comment if someone's moaning about the bins in Didsbury, you should be commenting on that as well. And what's that got to do with selling houses? Absolutely nothing. But what happens is that people start to say, well, actually, this person not only cares about he or she's always commenting, but also when they do make a post themselves, it's relevant and interesting. They become addicted to you in their group, and then in 6 months later, because you've been building this group in the background, you can start posting links from your group into their group, and because they've become already addicted to you, they'll start jumping across. If you start jumping video links in straight away, they'll think you're a spammer. So my advice is, for 6 months, post interesting stuff that doesn't involve you trying to sell anything in their group. Comment on everything about putting the bins out and stuff like that. Meanwhile, build your group in the background and then slowly move the balance across.
So that makes perfect sense. So people like Peter Lawrence, who's obviously very prevalent, obviously in Ruislip and wherever he is, High Speed 2 was obviously a massive divisive issue there, and he jumped all over that. And of course, the local populace then sees him as fighting their corner, doesn't it? And it's
and the big thing is don't be vanilla. Let's the thing is this. Simon,
are you telling Simon Whale to be vanilla?
Okay. You see, the magic thing is, Simon, is when it comes to brand whale, there's some people that would walk on hot coals and broken glass and follow you to the end of the earth. Yeah, those other people think you're a joker and a prat. Thankfully, I'm in the first one.
Well, fuck them.
But this is the thing. If you try, this phrase, you try and please all the people all the time and be vanilla, you won't attract anyone. But what I'm trying to say is I'm not asking you to go out there and post stuff about highly contentious stuff, not contagious. Sorry, that was probably the. Okay, but what I'm saying is have an opinion, but it's really important. Make sure that opinion you post is truly your own opinion, because if you believe one thing and then you're out socially and you say something else, people will catch you out. And I think the magic thing when it comes to posting and personal branding and all this malarkey is just be yourself, because people soon smell bullshit. And that's the wonderful thing about you, Simon, is what you see is what you get. And you don't care whether people love or hate you. The magic thing is that there's a big enough community out there that love you to bits. And that's what I would say to agents as well.
It's not that, Chris. It's that I don't believe that second camp actually exists. I'm so narcissistic that I just people say Marmite, but I believe everyone loves Marmite, and so does Ryan, as we can see here. Lots in that second camp you referred to. So it's a shame, because Ryan was coming up to see me on Monday to be interviewed on the Watkin sofa, but we've had to put that back, which is a shame. I was really looking forward. And Zoe's coming up at the end of the month as well, but all the Novembers have had to be put back. I stole one of your pillows just because I thought that was
What have you stolen?
I'll let you find out. You'll have to find out. Just there's a few surprises for you there. Well, anyway, Chris, I think that's wonderful there. As I said, you're always on talking about other people and everything else. It was worth obviously paying you some homage there for that service that you do. And obviously, we've heard from just a couple of them today. So encourage everybody, obviously, to drop Chris a line. Check he hasn't obviously already got a client in town already, because as he said, he can only work with so many. Yeah, thanks, Chris, and have a great weekend.
Simon, what plans you got for the weekend, mate?
It is Man City Liverpool, so I am going to try and recreate a football terrace here in the basement. That sounds awful, doesn't it? But it's true.
Well, I wish you well on that one. I wish your family. We're emptying the wardrobe because we're decorating it.
The joys of lockdown. That's really special.
There you go. I could have gone to San Moritz and that, but no, that's other people.
Okay.
Down with the people. Simon, finally, I just want to thank you on behalf of UK Estate Agency for what you do. Between us, we fill up social media with our videos, and I know a lot of people get a lot of love from it. Both of us do it because we enjoy doing it. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of the industry for what you're doing for the industry.
Oh, you're going to make me all cry now. I love you. Come on, let's take it offline.
Thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you, Chris. Cheers as ever.